So you want to do online dating, right? That's your thing. You want to go out and you're going to get yourself the most perfect person in the whole wide world for you, or you're going to get laid, or you're going to do whatever, and you've hit online dating and it sucked. And they were all creeps, or it didn't work the way you wanted it to, or there were flakes and they were whatever. Alright, Steve's going to help you out. I'm Steve Alexander. I'm going to be your host, if you want to call it that, for a multi-part thing that we're going to do here, that we're going to try to help you navigate the shark-infested waters of online dating. And this will work for about anything. Plenty of Fish, Zoosk, Tinder if you've got it, Match.com, eHarmony, all of them. They're all the same. They try to pretend that they're different. Some take themselves more seriously, and you have to fill out more stuff in some attempt to vet out the people, or maybe in some way you're going to get matched together, because we all know that one person that doesn't like to ski when the other does just can't happen. That's a bunch of bullshit, and we'll get into that a little bit later. I'm going to do a bunch of different things here. I'm going to try to do them. Maybe these videos might come once a week. I don't know. But we're going to do, photographs, what to put on, what not to put on, what to look for in other people's, and the whole 9 yards. What basically happens. This first video here, we're just going to kind of do a little general thing. In general, online dating sites are a way to get a couple of people together. Now, you can market it however you want, that maybe they have in-depth questioning, maybe it's just a photo thing like Tinder or Hot or Not, where you just kind of cute, not cute, you go from there and you try to do it. The same people you're going to find there. It's a cross-section of people in the country. It isn't just the weird people that wind up there. The people are no different in an online dating site than they are if you meet them in a bar or you meet them in the supermarket. Now, the reason that you don't have a problem with people in the supermarket is because you don't approach people when you look at them and go, not for me. Online dating, you have to work around that because you're trying to be sold something. People are selling themselves to you. They're trying to make you think that they look a certain way or that they are. They're putting their best foot forward. And that's not to be resented. There are people that misrepresent themselves, and we'll get into that later too. But that's the overall objective, is to make yourself look really appealing. And you can't fault people for that. The attitude that you take into online dating, that's what makes it good for you or not good. And a lot of the things that happen to people are landmines that they step on themselves and then fault other people, or they fault the system, they fault online dating that it doesn't work or whatever. I will tell you for a fact it does. Now, what makes me an authority? I've done it for a long time, and I know that gets a red flag. Well, oh, he's a serial dater, you listen to this guy, he's out to get laid. No, 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 no. No, there are people that do that. I will use online dating, and I'll explain my own personal reasons for it in a second. I use online dating, and if I find somebody and I wind up in an extended period relationship, then so be it. It's great. If we break up or something happens, then I'll go back to dating again. Not like the next day or anything like that, but I'll go back to it. Why? Because I'm not a 22-year-old person. I don't go to clubs, I don't go to bars. As a rule, I go there and have fun, but I don't go there specifically to meet other people. Why? I'm an older gentleman. I'm not going to meet that many people at those places who are my age. I'm going to be the standout. I'm going to be the old creeper, as they say, at the bar if I do that. So where do I find people? In my everyday today? There aren't many options. So, yes, online dating, the #1 viable place for me to meet people. Why is this? Because in my world, most people are married, they have kids, they're hooked up with somebody, they're in relationships. If you go into a bar and you're a young person in your 20s, the big mass pool of people, you're going to have a higher percentage. 50% of the people have boyfriends, girlfriends, and at that point in their lives, a boyfriend isn't much. It's somebody that they've got until they're ready to trade up to something else. But at my age, people are established. They've got families. They're together. I can't tell. I have to go looking for wedding rings. And that isn't even always the thing that gives it away, whether or not, some people don't wear one. So my pool of people is really small if I go out into the wide world to bump into a single available person. Online dating, you go on, everybody that's in front of you is a single available person. That's why I go back to it. So if you have seen me on online dating repeatedly, that's why it is. That's my personal reason. Now you can use it for whatever you want. You can use it to have sex, you can use it to find somebody, you can use it for whatever you desire. It's a tool. It is not a tailor-made that if you go on online dating, you are supposed to be doing this, you're supposed to be doing that. It's your job to run the people through a filter, and that's what this is all about, to help you find the person that you're going to be attractive to, that you're not going to go on a date and go, ah, geez, they misrepresented themselves. They fooled you. I'm going to help you not get fooled. It's not going to be 100%. I'm going to give you a 95% chance that everything I tell you will happen the way that it happens. But I'll give you an example. I dated a woman, and one of my little things I'm going to talk about later on in a future video will be about photographs. And photographs are the big #1 thing. That's where people get tricked. Telling somebody that you smoke, that you don't smoke when you do, that's a little minor. But the ones that people get hung up on are the photographs. We'll cover that in depth. But I have met a person who, according to my normal rules and my experience, she very well probably was an unattractive person, perhaps overweight or whatever, and according to her pictures, I was extremely skeptical, and she wound up being physically the most beautiful woman I've ever dated, by far. And her photographs did not do her justice. She had picked photographs that she liked about herself that weren't necessarily indicative of what she could have shown. She could have actually knocked your socks off, but she didn't. She picked photographs that they were her personal favorites that didn't really showcase who she was, and they were all headshots, so you really didn't know. And lo and behold, we're talking after a week. She sends me a picture of her out sunbathing, you know, the typical laying down, looking at your feet picture, and I was like, I was not prepared. And in real life, she was physically a perfect 10. I mean, as a person, well, I'll come to learn some things later on that, you know, whatever. But so the rules don't always apply as far as the photographs or whatever, but there is a 95% certainty with everything that I tell you that you're not going to get trapped if you follow these rules. Now, if you're a gambler, so be it. If you want to go for it and you want to take chances when there's one picture and one face and you go for it, and you know, and you don't, you know, no age or whatever, which I'm going to tell you about that too. There's ways to spot a fake. There's ways that, you know, there are red flags, and we're going to deal with red flags. So that's it. So this is segment #1. We're going to go for it here. The next time that we play a video, we're going to have a little more substance, but I wanted to let you know that these are going to be out there. So look, maybe twice a week, maybe definitely on the weekend, but maybe twice a week we'll cover it. We're going to cover photos. We're going to cover reading between the lines. And ladies, this is for you, because women more than men just kind of don't want to get caught like with a girl that isn't attractive to them. But women will run you through a filter. They will 100% look to the negative on everything. They will be skeptical of every picture. They will be skeptical. They will match up, you know, what you say to the photograph, like, oh, you said you didn't do this, but in the picture here, whatever. And there's people too that, you know, there's, you know, you can tell when somebody says that they don't like to go out very often and their photographs are full of party pictures and red Solo cups, or they've got a guy on their arm in every photo, and then they tell you that whatever. I mean, there's things like that that we're going to cover. So you got to watch out. That's what this is about, and stay tuned, because we're going to do it as fairly often as possible. Enjoy. Good luck. Here we go.